Hi, hello. This is just another quick video follow-up. So yes, I still have my tattoo. It's a temporary tattoo. So that will be explained in my video that I've also done today. Now, as I said yesterday, a big shout out to A&E. They were fantastic. They really, really helped me. And this morning, I did what I was told and I rang my doctor. And I am under what is now the new system for my doctor's surgery, where you are triaged. Now, yes, they do want you to do this online, but they've also stated that if you don't have internet access, which a lot of people don't, a lot of elderly people are not internet savvy, you can actually ring up still at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And this is for Camp Hill surgery in Nuneaton. I'm pretty sure it's for most surgeries now. And I rung up and I spoke to the receptionist and I said, "Hi, hello, hopefully you can hear me. I'm really sorry, I've got an upper respiratory tract infection." I said, "I was in hospital last night and they've told me to ring you today." And she was like, "You need to do it online." And I said, "I can't, I don't have the internet. I cannot fill in the online form." And she said, "Oh, okay." And I know a lot of people are probably going to say, "Well, that's bullshit, because you're always on YouTube, you're always blogging, you're always doing videos." Well, there's a big difference between talking into my phone and then pressing share on YouTube and filling in an online medical document. So for someone like me who suffers with really, really bad dyslexia, I cannot fill in forms. I always have to get someone else to do it for me. And I don't have another adult living with me, so it doesn't happen. So I'm really, really glad that there's still that option that, you could hopefully get in if you ring up in the morning. So I rung up and they triaged me, as they call it. And to be honest, I do find that way a little bit more better, because it's a bit like when you go to the hospital. And I said to them, I'm ringing up for like 3 reasons, but I think they're all interlinked. I said, I went into hospital yesterday. I thought I had septicemia. I got the opinion. I said, I spoke to 111. I spoke to my pharmacist. And I tried to get an appointment with my doctor. And then I went to A&E. And A&E were like, "Yeah, no, you should come. Be here, be here, be here. Don't ever not turn up. We would rather someone turned up and we just say, 'No, there's nothing wrong with you,' than you end up dropping down dead." So I phoned them up. And first of all, they wanted to do an online telephone medical appointment with me. And I said, "Look, I won't be funny." I said, "I think that it's imperative that I see the doctor, because my legs are really, really inflamed still." So if I just quickly show you one of my legs. And before anyone starts saying, "Look how hairy they are, shave them." Well, when your legs are infected or you have inflammation like this, the last thing you want to do is obviously aggravate them even more, which is why I have not shaved, because I do not want the hair follicles around the outsides of where all of these infections are, to get even worse. And flashing. And again, they said to me at the hospital, "How long have your legs been infected?" And I said 3 months. I said, "I've been on antibiotics 3 times. I've done this, I've done that. I've taken creams. I've done light therapy. At the moment, I'm going through what is called light therapy, which I'm doing at home." And they were like, "Yeah, we've heard of that. It can work. It doesn't always." They aren't into all this homeopathy type stuff. And he said to me, and they said, "Right, we can't get you in till this afternoon." And I said, "I don't care what time of day you want me to come to the doctors. I will get there. By hook or by crook, I will get there." And so I went this afternoon, and I've literally just got back. And because I spent the afternoon with my children. And I went in, and the doctor I got to see, I'd seen him before, as it's more you never know what doctor's going to be on call. And he is absolutely amazing. He is so funny and he is so charismatic. And I went in and he went, "Hello, how are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm here again." And he's like, "I know you. I know you. You were here like a week ago, almost." And I said, "Well, no, it wasn't a week ago. It was more like 3 weeks ago." And he said, yes, I know who you are. I know who you are. Why are you here? And he said, "You've got a chest infection." And which is great because he'd actually read my medical records. And I said, "I have got a chest infection, but that's not why I'm here, is it?" And he's like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "You know why I'm here." And he was like, "No, why are you here, really?" And I'm like, "Blood test results." And he was like, "There isn't any." And I'm like, "Yes, there are, because I had my blood test done last week." And he went, "No, there's none from yesterday." And I'm like, "No, there won't be." And he's like, "Why not? You were in hospital. Why didn't you have a blood test?" And I'm like, "Because the hospital didn't do any." And he was like, "Was it George Eliot?" And I'm like, "Yes, it was George Eliot Hospital." And he went, "Did you tell them to do your blood work?" And I went, No, I'm not a doctor. I just took it at face value that I didn't have septicemia. They told me I had upper respiratory tract infection and they gave me antibiotics. So I went to pick up the prescription this morning from the hospital, and I have to take I have to take one 4 times a day. And he looked at me and he went, "Because you know why you're here, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I know why I'm here. I'm here because of my blood work, isn't it? What's wrong with me this time?" And he just looked at me and he went, "I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not a specialist in blood. You need to go back and have some more blood tests." And I said, "Okay, all right." So I now have to go back for more blood work. And he sat there patiently and he showed me my blood test results over the last year. And he said to me, "What did you tell them at the hospital?" And I said, "What I always tell them." And he was like, "What is that? What did you tell them?" I said, "As long as my white blood cell count is no higher than 17, that is my baseline. I haven't got an infection." And oh my God, he just kind of looked at me horrified and said, "That's not true, is it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course it is. That's what you told me last time." And he was like, "No, I didn't. I would never say that to a patient. I think you've got confused." And I was like, "Have I?" "No, 17. The highest it's ever been was 200. And he was like, "No, it hasn't. You think you've got confused. The highest it's ever been was 2025. And he showed me my blood test results on the system and he went, "What does that number say?" And I'm there like trying to read the screen. And I'm like, "I don't know. Can you tell me what it says?" And he goes, "Right. That says 9, that says 11, that says 10, that says 9, that says 8, that says 10, that says 11. What is that number?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What is it?" He goes, "It's 14. And I was like, "Right, what does that mean?" He said, "You've got to have another blood test. Your white blood cell count is at 14. He said, "You've got an infection." And I was like, "Right, okay. What kind of infection?" And he went, "I don't know. That's why I need to go back and have some more blood tests." And I was like, "What? Okay, so where did I get this 17 from?" And he went, "I'm not being funny. If your blood work said 17 and you were sitting there and you're still alive, then you must be the most luckiest person in the world." And I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh my God, am I like hearing this? Is he winding me up?" And he said to me, and even the hospital staff in the past have said to me, "Your white blood cell count is high, but you don't look sick. So we're going to send you home." And I told him this at 4:24 this afternoon. And he looked at me and he said, "But they didn't do your blood yesterday." And I went, "No." And he went, "Right." And he wrote something on a piece of paper for me, which I absolutely don't understand. I'm not medically trained. And he said to me, every time you go into hospital, you take this piece of paper with you and you give it to them. And if your blood work is higher than the number that I've wrote on here for you, or if in fact, he said, I'm not going to put a number on there. I'm just going to say to you to tell them every time you go into hospital, you give them this piece of paper and you say to them, check this. I need to have a blood test. Check this. And then they'll make a decision as to whether or not you've got an infection or not. And I was like, oh, right. Okay. Thank you. So I am loving this new doctor right now, because the way that he has been dealing with my medical history and my current health problems that I'm having has just been flawless. It has just been absolutely incredible to have a doctor who is basically saying to me, yes, there is something wrong. We need to find out what it is. And I says to him, but I've already been tested. And he said, I know what you've been tested for in the past, but that does not mean that we shouldn't test for it in the future. And I'm like, oh, okay, should I be worried? And he's like, no, I don't want you to sit there and be worried. But what I don't want is for us to make a mistake. So next time, if you go into hospital and you think you've got septicemia or an infection, they need to test your blood. And they should have tested it yesterday. But they didn't. What they did was they found my blood test results online on my medical records. And based on those results, they gave me antibiotics. And he said, I'm not saying that what they didn't do was right or wrong. What I'm saying is, you went in as a medical emergency, therefore they should have tested your blood. Did they give you an x-ray? And I said no, because I wasn't that severely in pain in my chest. And he said, but did they check your chest over? And I went, yes, they checked my breathing. And I know there's going to be a few jokes about that. Did they check your chest? Yeah, they've done that quite a few times at the hospital. Literally, I think if you could lay all my x-rays down on the floor, there's probably like every single part of my body almost now that they could make me have my x-rays. And he said, yes, I can tell by talking to you that it sounds like you've got an upper respiratory tract infection. Take the antibiotics, come back in a week. And if I still do not think you're well enough, we'll send you for some more tests. So at the moment, I'm really, really happy with the NHS and the way they are. I haven't always been in the past. And some of the stories that even my friends and loved ones have told me due to what they've endured, I wouldn't wish on anyone. But at the moment, again, it's amazing to think that how one doctor will say one thing, another doctor will say something else, despite them having the same training. So it just goes to show, with my last video I did last night, if in doubt, seek medical assistance. Because even he said to me, I was getting worried because you had not made an appointment to see me. And I was like, well, it's not like you rang me. And he goes, no, but he said, the moment you made that appointment, I looked at your records to remind myself as to who you were. Because I wouldn't expect any doctor to remember every single patient. That's just insane. He said, I was so relieved that you came in. And because I want to make sure that we've not made a mistake, we want to test your bloods again. And usually it's every 6 months. So to have my doctor say, we've had your test results, we need to retest you, literally within like a 2-week time frame, I don't want to get stressed out, because I know getting stressed can affect your immune system. But I am relieved that my doctor is being really hypervigilant at the moment. And I do remember joking with some other ladies at the hospital last night saying, it's an age thing. They were like, why am I here? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, I'm 41. And they're like, what's that got to do with anything? I said, oh my God, I've noticed ever since I hit my 40th birthday last year, every slip, trip or fall I've had, they've x-rayed me. Every time I've had an infection, 9 times out of 10, apart from yesterday, they've given me a blood test. I said, whereas up until the age of 40, they never bothered. You know, I remember I said one time I came into hospital like 4 times in 1 month. And it wasn't until I'd been in like on the 4th time that they gave me antibiotics. And then they decided to like do my bloods. And I'm going back, maybe when I was like 35, 37? Even after my last pregnancy with my youngest, who's 5, I remember saying, I'm not well. And it was, oh no, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. And again, it took them 2 years to diagnose me with bile acid malabsorption. But now I'm 40. Every time I sustain an injury or potential injury, I found that the NHS are a lot more hypervigilant about your health and well-being. So I don't know whether it is an age thing or not, but it is definitely something I've noticed. So that is a separate issue. It is the summer holidays, so I will try and get my bloods done next week. But I'll have to tell them to put a note on the system to say that I am on antibiotics. And it probably will affect my blood tests, which is why usually what I'll do is I won't have my blood work done until after I finish my antibiotics. But by the sounds of it, my doctor's saying it shouldn't matter. I should be able to get in this week, have my bloods done, but it's more than likely I won't get in for a week anyway. And by then, whether the fact that I was on antibiotics or not isn't going to make much of a difference. So again, people, please stay safe. I can't get my words out. Stay safe, stay well, and be happy. And if in doubt, seek medical assistance. Do not suffer in silence. Because if you can't take care of yourself, how can you take care of anyone else? Thank you.